Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where mysterious and enchanting stories are told to guide you into deep dreamy sleep. Every night, as the lights dim and the world falls silent, these mystical tales become your companion, gently leading you on a journey to explore the wonders of nature and the universe. In this episode, we will dive into the mystery of a strange creature, an alien of the ocean, the octopus, with its 3 hearts, extraordinary camouflage abilities, and astonishing intelligence. Are they truly from Earth, or are they a secret from a distant cosmos? Relax, close your eyes, and let me tell you this story. I hope you'll enjoy it. Feel relaxed and drift into a wonderful sleep. Imagine a creature with 3 hearts, pumping blue blood through its veins. Though its body is almost formless, like a bag of water, it can effortlessly open bottle caps, even those with childproof locks. It can sense light and even taste with its skin. It has no ears but hears remarkably well, even detecting infrasound. It can continuously change color and texture, blending seamlessly into its surroundings, despite being unable to perceive colors itself and seeing the world only in 2 tones, black and white. It possesses venom and can sometimes be aggressive, but it is also deeply curious and even playful. Moreover, it is incredibly intelligent and capable of solving complex problems. Beyond its main brain, it has 8 smaller brains located in different parts of its body, each capable of making independent decisions. So, what is this strange creature? Is it from Earth? Yes, you guessed it right. This is the octopus, and of course, it is a creature of our planet. However, some scientists have alternative theories about their origins. But first, let's explore the mystery of the octopus. We are all too familiar with octopuses. Nowadays, almost everyone knows about them from a young age, and this familiarity somewhat diminishes our sense of awe when we see them. When looking at images of them, many people might feel surprised, but few are truly excited or astonished, even though their transformations are not so different from the superheroes in X-Men. Yet, we consider what happens in movies extraordinary, while similar phenomena in nature often go unnoticed. Isn't it time we rethink how we observe these creatures? Moreover, octopuses are far more fascinating than we might think. Octopuses belong to a class of cephalopod mollusks, cephalopoda, an ancient group of creatures that appeared around 530 million years ago. At that time, fish were virtually non-existent, let alone reptiles or mammals. The early ancestors of octopuses were small, equipped with protective shell, and crawled along the ocean floor. However, having a protective shell slowed their evolutionary process significantly, much like turtles, which have barely changed over millions of years. But about 140 million years ago, an unexpected event occurred, causing the ancestors of octopuses to lose their shells. With a soft, vulnerable body, no defense mechanisms, and no developed camouflage abilities, these creatures had almost no chance of survival. This was a defining moment. Either cephalopods would become easy prey for predators and go extinct, or they had to evolve faster and more creatively. As you can see, they chose to fight for survival, completely restructuring their bodies. What they achieved turned out to be incredibly effective, even surpassing ordinary natural laws. First, octopuses turned their soft, almost amorphous bodies into an advantage rather than a weakness. Since they have almost no rigid parts except for their beak, octopuses can slip through any crevice as long as it's slightly larger than their eyeball or beak. This allows them to hide in extremely narrow rock crevices, giving them a significant survival advantage against predators like sharks or dolphins. Second, octopuses developed an even smarter method of concealment. In fact, they are among the best camouflage animals on the planet. Notice how quickly and unexpectedly they can change color, not only altering their hue, but also the texture of their skin, creating intricate patterns. And that's not all. They can even change the surface structure of their body. These transformations can happen instantly or in stages, allowing the octopus to blend completely into its surroundings. In the blink of an eye, it can become indistinguishable from a patch of seaweed, a type of coral, a sandy patch, a rock, or virtually anything else. These are things we typically see only in science fiction movies, but they exist in real life. Is this creature adhering to any natural laws? How can this be possible? Indeed, it's hard to fully grasp this mechanism. The camouflage of cephalopods relies on an extremely complex system of tissues. Across the octopus's skin are chromatophores, tiny sacs filled with colored pigments, densely covering the skin like freckles. These chromatophores may contain black, red, or yellow pigments and are surrounded by muscle rings that can stretch or contract the sacs, revealing the colors within. Depending on which group of chromatophores the octopus opens or closes, it can create stripes, spots, or intricate pattern designs, instantly blending into its surroundings. You might wonder, but only black, red, and yellow? What about other colors? To achieve that, octopuses use an entirely different mechanism, and it's even more impressive. Beneath the chromatophores, octopuses have a thin layer of specialized cells arranged in a stack formation within their transparent skin. These are called iridophores, and unlike chromatophores, they don't contain pigments but instead have special proteins called reflectins. The unique feature of reflectins is that they reflect only specific wavelengths of light. Thanks to iridophores, octopuses can shift to iridescent shades of blue and green that seem almost unreal. But that's not all. Beneath the iridophores is another layer containing natural reflective structures called leucophores. These reflect the entire spectrum of light, producing white. By combining the reflections of iridophores and leucophores with the appropriate pigment patterns from chromatophores, octopuses can mimic their surroundings with astonishing realism. But there's more. The octopus's camouflage arsenal includes a final trick that makes it nearly invisible. Its skin has a special structure, a network of tiny spines called papillae, which can alter the surface texture, creating raised or sunken patterns. This allows the octopus not only to mimic the color and pattern of its environment, but also to replicate its surface shape. Can you spot the octopus here? I can't either. No one can, but it's right in front of us. With all these tools, the soft, shell-less octopus has outwitted ocean predators for millions of years. But it's not just their camouflage abilities. Octopuses have an even more effective survival weapon: how they control their bodies. How can something that can't clearly see colors replicate them so accurately? Only recently have scientists begun to study this question. Detailed research conducted in 2015 yielded compelling results. Researchers discovered that octopus skin is sensitive to light due to photoreceptor genes in the skin. Even when detached from the body, the skin can still react to light and change the shape of its chromatophores. Scientists realize that octopuses don't just see with their eyes, they see with their skin. This raises a question: how do the octopus's brain and consciousness process vision? Did I just mention the consciousness of an octopus? Let me clarify. because this is perhaps the most astonishing aspect of octopuses, even more remarkable than their extraordinary camouflage skills. But first, let's talk about their nervous system. We are accustomed to a centralized nervous system with a hierarchical structure. However, octopuses are clear proof that things can be entirely different. Imagine that, in addition to the brain in your skull, each of your arms and legs has its own brain, completely independent from the central nervous system, capable of making its own decisions. Your leg could move in any direction it wanted. Your hand could grab anything it liked. Truly, they do whatever they want. Can you imagine thinking with 5 brains at once? How would you manage a multitude of conflicting signals within such a complex physiological system? Which part would be responsible for consciousness? Could an octopus have multiple personalities coexisting at once? This is enough to make a Hollywood movie, but reality is even more fascinating than fiction. We've grown accustomed to the fact that octopuses have 3 hearts. One main heart pumps blood throughout the body, while 2 smaller hearts pump blood through the gills. But did you know that each of their tentacles has its own mini-brain? And this is no exaggeration. These clusters of nerve cells can make decisions independently. If a tentacle is severed from the body, it can still react to the environment, evade threats, and attempt to seize prey. The octopus's nervous system isn't entirely centralized in the brain, which serves as a central organ for analysis and control. Their spineless bodies can bend in any direction, requiring an extremely flexible and complex control system. During evolution, octopuses learn to delegate, entrusting local tasks to individual body parts. For example, when humans open a jar, our brain focuses on sensory signals, then sends appropriate commands to the arm muscles. Grip the jar with just enough force, twist in the right direction, keep the body stable, and execute many other precise motor commands. When moving along the ocean floor, an octopus must constantly observe its surroundings to adjust its camouflage accordingly. They can make decisions incredibly quickly. Observations show that an octopus can change its color and pattern up to 177 times in an hour, with a reaction speed of just 200 milliseconds, faster than any other animal. For comparison, a chameleon takes about 20 seconds to fully change its color. This astonishing reaction speed and ability to accurately replicate colors, patterns, and shapes make us wonder, do octopuses have superhuman vision? How can they see and distinguish colors so precisely with just ordinary eyes? Here's the most surprising part. Octopuses are completely colorblind. All these commands come from the central brain, but for an octopus, a general directive is enough. Something like, tentacle number 5, open the jar. How you do it is not my concern. I'll wait here. The tentacles can think independently, managing complex tasks with only general guidance from the central system. By the way, there's every reason to believe that octopuses consciously change their body patterns, not just as a reflex or adaptation. This might sound like science fiction, I know, but there's direct evidence that these mollusks can mimic dozens of living and inanimate objects in their environment. For example, when observing an octopus in its natural habitat, people sometimes mistake it for a stingray, an echinoderm like a brittle star, or even a jellyfish. Sometimes, octopuses change their appearance not for camouflage, but simply because they feel like it. This peculiar nervous system raises a host of questions. What is it like to be a creature with 9 brains? What would its personality be like? If given another 100 or 200 million years of evolution, what would octopuses become? Could they achieve a true form of consciousness? Based on the limited data we have, we can confidently say that octopuses possess superior intelligence. For instance, there's evidence that octopuses can recognize human faces. Previously, it was thought that only primates, dolphins, and certain corvid birds like crows could do this. Octopuses quickly become familiar with their caretakers, even distinguishing them from others. There are many fascinating cases. If an octopus doesn't like someone, it will swim to the far side of the tank, change color to express aggression or discomfort. Conversely, if it likes someone, it will swim closer, showing no signs of wariness or hostility. Octopuses are also incredibly dexterous. They can easily open child-proof medicine bottles. Moreover, if trapped in a jar with a screw-on lid, they can still open it to escape. Their brain and the strength of their tentacles are sufficient for such tasks. Another significant indicator of octopus intelligence is their playful behavior. When an animal is intelligent enough, it finds ways to entertain itself when it feels safe and has nothing to do. When there's no need to hunt or evade predators, it has two options: sleep or pass the time with meaningless games that offer no evolutionary benefit. Sound familiar? There was an experiment where researchers placed an octopus in an empty glass tank with only a small corner to hide in, nothing else to attract his attention. After a while, the researchers tossed a jar into the tank, which floated on the water's surface with the current. Initially, the octopus ignored it, but out of boredom, it began shooting jets of water at the jar, pushing it away. The jar would drift back with the current, and the game repeated dozens of times. This simple form of entertainment was independently invented by every octopus in the experiment. Remember, we're talking about a mollusk, not a dog or a cat, but a blob of slime. And that makes people think. The truth is, playful behavior was previously considered a hallmark of social animals. Through play, animals learn communication, dominance, and submission. But octopuses are entirely solitary, with no hierarchical structure or social interactions like other species. This forces scientists to rethink their entire understanding of intelligence. It was once believed that social relationships and communication were the driving forces behind the development of intelligence in vertebrates. But octopuses completely defy this rule. Scientists may uncover many more surprises as they continue researching this extraordinary creature. But what makes it even more challenging is that octopuses are difficult to observe in the wild because they prefer a solitary life. Furthermore, conducting laboratory experiments is no easy task, as octopuses are incredibly intelligent and unpredictable. So, it's hard to imagine what else this strange creature is capable of. There's a fundamental oddity in all of this. Octopuses have survived hundreds of millions of years of evolution. They outlasted mass extinctions that wiped out dinosaurs, marine reptiles, ichthyosaurs, and countless other species. This raises an intriguing question about the true origins of octopuses. We often take pride in how different we are from other primates, but when we look at octopuses and how utterly distinct they are from other mollusks, human evolutionary achievements suddenly seem trivial. The evolutionary branches of humans and octopuses diverged so long ago that the two are entirely different in anatomy and physiology. Our last common ancestor was a flatworm wandering the ocean floor 750 million years ago. After that, evolution took us down separate paths. This happened 350 million years before the first four-legged animals appeared, which later evolved into amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, and 500 million years before dinosaurs set foot on Earth. So, why did octopuses remain mere animals, albeit highly intelligent ones, instead of developing into a civilization? Why are we the pinnacle of creation and not them? The reason isn't a lack of intelligence. Ironically, their strengths are also their weaknesses. For example, some anatomical features limit their developmental potential. Octopus blood contains hemocyanin, which uses copper instead of iron like human hemoglobin, giving their blood a blue hue. However, hemocyanin is less efficient at transporting oxygen, leading to oxygen shortages for complex tasks. Their solitary lifestyle and lack of social structure are also significant disadvantages. Because they don't live in groups, octopuses cannot pass down experience from one generation to the next. Their lifespan rarely exceeds 5 years, averaging only 1 to 3 years. Each generation must learn about the world from scratch, unable to inherit knowledge from their ancestors. But let's pause for a moment to consider the broader implications of the octopus's remarkable traits. Their ability to solve puzzles, like navigating mazes or escaping from enclosures, suggests a level of cognitive sophistication that rivals many vertebrates. For instance, experiments have shown octopuses using tools, such as coconut shells, to create shelters, an act once thought exclusive to animals like chimpanzees or crows. This tool use, combined with their problem-solving skills, hints at a form of intelligence that doesn't rely on the social structures we typically associate with advanced cognition. Instead, octopuses seem to have evolved their intelligence through a solitary, survival-driven path, adapting to the unpredictable and perilous environment of the ocean. Moreover, their ability to learn through observation is striking. In controlled settings, octopuses have been seen mimicking the actions of other octopuses to solve tasks, such as opening a box to retrieve food. This observational learning, rare among invertebrates, suggests a capacity for memory and adaptation that goes beyond instinct. Their decentralized nervous system, with 2/3 of their neurons located in their arms, allows each tentacle to process information independently, almost like a team of semi-autonomous agents working together. This unique setup raises philosophical questions about consciousness. Does each arm have a form of awareness, or is the octopus's consciousness a collective symphony of its many brains? Beyond their cognitive prowess, octopuses also exhibit behaviors that seem almost emotional. Stories from aquariums describe octopuses forming bonds with their keepers, squirting water playfully, or even displaying what appears to be jealousy when attention is given to others. While we must be cautious about anthropomorphizing, these behaviors suggest a level of individuality and personality rarely seen in invertebrates. Could octopuses have a sense of self, or is their behavior a complex interplay of instinct and learned responses? Scientists are still unraveling these questions, but each discovery pushes us to reconsider what it means to be intelligent. The octopus's survival through eons also points to their remarkable adaptability. Unlike many species that perish during mass extinctions, octopuses thrive by evolving traits that allow them to exploit diverse ecological niches. From deep-sea trenches to shallow coral reefs, they've conquered environments that would challenge most creatures. Their ability to change color to mimic not just their surroundings but also other animals, like lionfish or sea snakes, adds another layer of survival strategy, blending deception with physical agility. This adaptability makes us wonder if octopuses had longer lifespans or a way to pass knowledge across generations. Could they have built complex societies beneath the waves? What's even more intriguing is the octopus's potential to teach us about alternative forms of life and intelligence. Their genome, decoded in 2015, revealed a surprising complexity. With over 33,000 protein-coding genes, more than humans. This genetic richness includes unique adaptations, like the ability to edit their own RNA, allowing them to fine-tune their proteins in response to environmental changes. Such molecular flexibility could explain their rapid adaptability and resilience. Imagine a creature that can rewrite its own biological code to better suit its surroundings. This sounds like the stuff of science fiction, yet octopuses do it naturally. This genetic quirk, combined with their neurological and behavioral complexity, makes them a living laboratory for studying how intelligence can arise in forms so alien to our own. Could their biology hold clues to how life might evolve elsewhere in the universe, on worlds far different from ours? Without these limitations, cephalopods and their relatives might have become impressively intelligent beings. One day, the two-legged kings of the land, us, might have faced a civilization of 8-armed kings under the sea. Or perhaps the two civilizations could have collaborated to create the greatest civilization ever. However, it's not too late. Perhaps we're looking for intelligent peers in the wrong place. Our planet isn't an ideal environment for developing an underwater civilization compared to other oceanic worlds. Although water covers over 70% of Earth's surface, it accounts for only about 0.05% of the planet's mass. On a cosmic scale, Earth's oceans are little more than a thin film on a massive rock with a molten core. Meanwhile, within our solar system, vast oceans exist on moons like Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Enceladus, not to mention distant exoplanets, where endless oceans may stretch. Some of these are billions of years older than Earth and the Sun. It's hard to imagine how magnificent a civilization could develop with such an immense time advantage. But thanks to the octopus, we can at least begin to envision those wondrous creatures. And so, we've explored the mystery of the octopus together, a marvelous creature with abilities beyond imagination, from 3 hearts and 8 mini brains to camouflage straight out of science fiction. I hope this story has brought you moments of relaxation, a touch of wonder, and the mystical feeling of the deep ocean. Thank you for joining me in this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next mysterious tale. Now relax, close your eyes, and I wish you a deep, restful sleep, dreaming of distant oceans and strange creatures. See you in the next episode.